What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. We're here with another episode of Designated Twitter, where we get into all of your tweets, all your fire takes over on Twitter. And I want to know from you today, what is your hottest Dodgers take through the start of the season? Let us know down below. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So I asked you guys over on Twitter, what is your hottest Dodgers take through the start of the season? And we're going to get into those takes in just a second. But I asked the staff here that question, and here were their takes.
All right, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I also posted what's the biggest surprise so far, 6 games into the season. I'm pretty surprised by the complete lack, I don't know why I'm using my hands, complete lack of strikeouts by this Dodgers bullpen. As of right now, they are third worst team in all of baseball in strikeouts. So I guess my hot take is the bullpen is not going to be the bullpen you see in October. It's a little uneasy right now.
My biggest hot take for the season so far is that James Outman will lead the team in home runs. He's starting off hot. He's going to continue getting hot. He might get some all-star votes a little bit in there, but James Outman will lead the team in home runs.
My hot take for the Dodgers season thus far, just a few games in, we haven't seen a whole lot from the starting pitchers just yet, but my good friend Clint was talking about the bullpen. I'm going to take it a step further, and I don't think the starting pitching lineup is going to be the same to end the season. I think we're going to win the Shohei Ohtani trade sweepstakes, and we're going to snag him at the deadline. I think the Dodgers could benefit from him at the pitching mound and at the plate. Obviously, he's the best player in baseball, and he belongs in the boys in blue.
My Dodgers hot take is that this team has the National League Rookie of the Year award winner. I don't know if it's going to be James Outman or Miguel Vargas, or maybe even a surprise like Gavin Stone. But all I know is this team will have that Rookie of the Year award winner, and the Dodgers will have their first one since Cody Bellinger won in 2017.
So those were their fire takes, but here were your takes over on Twitter. At SM00VIE_22 tweeted, Will Smith equals NL MVP. Yeah, Will Smith has gotten off to a hot start. He's hotter than the devil's armpit. If you look at his numbers, he's really top 5 in offensive categories across the board. The only question is, can he sustain it? And also, you consider the position he's playing. Since Pudge Rodriguez was named the AL MVP in 1999, only 2 catchers have won the award. You had Joe Mauer in 2009 and Buster Posey in 2012. So can he win that award? Yes, it's possible, but he's going to have to sustain this. This year, you're probably going to need to see over 30 home runs from Will Smith. But yeah, there's no doubt about that. He can absolutely win that award if he continues this pace. Never forget, too, Roy Campanella, former Dodger great, he won 3 NL MVP. So he's off to a great start, but I think you win that if you make it to the All-Star game. That really is the first thing he needs to cross off the list, and then we can focus on that MVP for Smitty. And then we've got the BS machine tweet out, they need to save runs in the blowout games for the 1-2 run games. Yeah, it has been a little bit of a roller coaster. You're seeing during the Dodgers wins, lots of slugging. They're very home run reliant. Over 60% of their runs have come via the long ball. And sometimes you'll see the cold spells in the losses. And that a lot of the times has to do with the fact that this team does play for the slug, and they are going to have their droughts. But last season, they went 16-15 in 1-run games. Also struggled in games where they didn't manufacture that many runs, but they still managed to win 111 games and set a new franchise record. So the formula clearly works for this Dodgers team. I think they're going to continue that. But yeah, those droughts, they definitely hurt. And now it's time for the Dodgers Fans Shot Takes of the Week, presented by Ornitos. And for this week, we've got 2. First from Richard over on Twitter, at Rang407, who tweeted, should have offered Gagne a contract when he was there on opening night, throwing out a first pitch. Eric Gagne, game over. Would love to see that. And also, Native Son over on Twitter tweeted, Hayward will piss the Cubs off this season. Yeah, the Cubs paying Hayward almost $22 million to play for the Dodgers this season. Thanks, Chicago. And then we've got Eric over on Twitter at CBB Blues, who tweeted, hot take, one of the core players doesn't make it past the trade deadline. It will be shocking. That is very interesting, a very hot take. And who would you be talking about? Because Chris Taylor, he's the guy that signed that 4-year, $60 million deal. What kind of trade value does he have? And also, they've dealt with injuries already. You've already seen Miguel Rojas deal with that groin injury. They're going to need a guy like Chris Taylor to play multiple positions. Max Muncy, he's the guy that still has a club option for next season. If he struggles, do they look to deal him? I just don't anticipate that. I think this team is relying on him to be a big run producer, to be a guy that slugs for them in the middle of that lineup. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't think that's going to happen. I think if you're going to see them make a trade, it's going to be trading some top prospects to try to bolster this lineup or bolster this rotation, because not a lot of great candidates for some big league ready talent, but that would be very shocking. I agree with that. And then we've got Jim Jam over on Twitter, who tweeted Muncy to AAA. Well, one, that's not going to happen. We know that just logistically. And Melik, a lot of fans, they're down on Max Muncy. He got off to a really slow start to the season. 1 for 16, had the platinum sombrero game where he struck out 5 times, but he's starting to find it, hit his first home run of the season. He's had a lot of hard contact. I think the big concern with Max Muncy is defensively, because he has looked a little shaky at the hot corner. So you want to see him improve his defense. But yeah, defensively, he had his issues last season. I mean, you saw him kick a ball against the Phillies that cost the Dodgers a game, and then he turned it around. So Max Muncy is a guy that's capable of making adjustments and cleaning up defensively. And yeah, he's just not going to end up in AAA. I just don't anticipate that for obvious reasons. And then we've got the Choop Dog, who tweeted, Thor will be this year's Tyler Anderson. I like that. It's definitely a hot take, and I think that's one of the reasons why he did sign here, because he saw what the Dodgers did with Tyler, the outs creator. They saw him lead the Dodgers in innings pitched. He made the All-Star team. No one was expecting that heading into the season. And what did Noah Syndergaard say? He said that this organization, they know how to turn everything into gold, and they're hoping that they can have that same amount of success with Noah Syndergaard. So I definitely think he's off to a great start. I think the biggest key for Syndergaard is not trying to revitalize his career as far as getting back to the pitcher he was. I think it's about reinventing himself at this stage of his career. And you saw him working that changeup, especially to right-handed hitters, locating that sinker down and away, avoiding the heart of the plate, still commanding that zone and throwing strikes. As long as he does that, he's going to have success. And I think he could be this year's Tyler Anderson if you're looking at innings pitched. I think that is the ideal scenario. He hasn't thrown over 130 innings in a season since 2019. If he can get close to 150 to 175 innings, that is going to go a long way for this team. Will he make the All-Star team? Not sure about that. Will he put himself in a position, though, to sign a deal similar to the $39 million deal that TA signed with the Halos? I do think that's possible, so I love that hot take. And then we've got J_backwards, who tweeted, we need a closer. This is a very interesting topic because, look, I've been a big advocate for closer by committee because you want to play the matchups. You don't always want to have your closer or one of your better relievers there in the 9th inning. And yes, there's a lot of talk about the closer's mentality and just going out there and slamming the door shut, but the game isn't always won or lost in the 9th inning. You want to use guys against the meat of the order and high leverage spots earlier in games, but also you have to consider bullpen management. And I think if you give Dave Roberts a push button bullpen with a tried and true lights out closer, it could help him get to those final 3 outs. Now, the other thing is too, though, Daniel Hudson is capable of being that guy, and Hudson hasn't gone to where they need him to be as far as recovery, as far as the knee goes, and he definitely hasn't had a setback, but they were hoping he was further along at this point. So hopefully Daniel Hudson can come back and be that closer, and then at some point during the summertime, you get Alex Reyes back. And Alex Reyes, he really raises the ceiling of this bullpen if he can be anywhere close to the reliever he was back in 2021. He has lights out stuff, can miss bats. Only issue I have with him is he does struggle with command at times, and I definitely want a little more command out of my closer. But yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I am kind of changing my stance just a little bit as far as this team's need for a defined closer. And then, two, you also look at the trade market. Who is available? And there is a guy, and he plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I've talked about him quite a bit on this show, and that is David Bednar. Bednar has been one of the best closers in the game for quite some time. He already leads the league in saves. He's been lights out to start the season. Only concern with him, though, is how long he's under team control. He's under team control until the 2027 season. That leaves a lot of time for him to enter a slump, and it would also increase the prospect capital it would require to make a deal for a David Bednar. The Dodgers aren't going to trade a top-tier pitching prospect like a Bobby Miller for a closer. That's just not what this organization does, but I do see Andrew Friedman and this front office exploring some options as far as bringing in another Chris Martin type, another high-leverage reliever, so you really can lengthen this bullpen. But yeah, it's very interesting because you saw already there has been certain situations where you wanted to see Evan Phillips, where the Dodgers went with Brusdar Graterol and it didn't work out for them. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. David Roberts, Doc's bullpen management is going to be put to test this season. And then we've got Berito over on Twitter who tweet out, pitching is outstanding and the rookies are playing out of their minds. I think we will miss JT's glove and bat at third. So yeah, I knew this was inevitable. I knew someone was going to bring up Justin Turner. And yeah, he's gotten off to a great start in Boston. 16 at bats, 1 extra base hit, has an 827 OPS. And look, let's be happy for Justin Turner. You can be happy for your ex sometimes. He's in a good situation, surrounded by a lot of former Dodgers. You got Kike, you got Kenley Jansen. But look, I will say, you have to look at this move for October. And will they miss him in October? Because the last 2 postseasons, JT went a combined 6 for 47, and he went 2 for 13 against the Padres in the NLDS. And he had multiple opportunities to get a big hit that could have really changed that series, and the Dodgers could have won that series if it were for a couple bad at-bats for JT and getting dominated by high-velocity pitching. So I look at this in the long term, and you look at third base too. Defensively, he had already lost his step. He's really a DH at this stage of his career, and the Dodgers, they got themselves JD Martinez, and while Martinez has gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, he still has 3 extra base hits, and that is what you want from JD. You need a little more slug in the middle of that order, and also look at JD's postseason OPS at 987. So right now it might feel early on that they missed Justin Turner, but I think long term, I think Martinez has the potential to be a bigger threat and a guy that can boost them in the postseason. So yeah, I'm not worried about that too much. I hope JT has a great time in Boston before he ultimately becomes the Dodgers manager one day. But my hot take right now, from what we see from this team early, the San Diego Padres, the lineup is ferocious. Xander Bogaerts, who's eating on my fantasy team. I feel good about that. But I still think when you look at this Dodgers starting rotation, how dominant they've been, the lineup is starting to produce. You're starting to see more quality towards the bottom third of that lineup. I still think the Dodgers are going to comfortably win the NL West. My hot take right now is the Dodgers will win the NL West by 5 games. I think they'll have a 5-game lead on the Padres by the end of the season. I think you're going to see them continue that streak that the Giants broke a few years ago and get back on track to a multi-year division title winning streak. So Dodgers over the Padres by 5 games. That's my current hot take. But give me your current hot take on the Dodgers to start this season. Let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA for our latest Dodgers news and rumors all season long. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.